Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the RapChat podcast. Now, before we head into the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, make sure to comment, and also subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, make sure to leave us a rating, and also, please, leave us a review. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at RapChat Podcast, where we post new clips of the show every single week. Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Luke Dick.
I'm Elias Eldridge.
And I'm Sam Kenny.
Alrighty, everybody. Oh.
Fun.
Turned on.
Kyle's back.
Yeah.
Kyle's back.
Yeah, we'll get to Kyle later in the show. We've got quick
I
little
don't
touch.
even want to talk about Kyle, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, Kyle Lowry came back. But this is a
Yeah,
Timberwolves
right.
game.
Yeah,
It's Timberwolves
Timberwolves game though last
Magic
week.
game, though.
Yeah.
Magic game is pretty
Yeah.
good.
But yeah, we're gonna go over just a quick little some recaps.
That was a joke. Stay tuned.
We'll do some recaps on the Timberwolves game and the Magic game over.
We'll
the
skim by those
the
though, because
weekend.
this Heat game's a bigger deal.
People are here to hear about Kyle Lowry and the Miami Heat game.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
last night, but tonight. And that's kind of the show. Hey, keep it a little fluid like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right on. All right.
It's late here, so we're gonna probably keep this relatively shorter.
The Raptors played the Timberwolves last week, I guess. Great
Wait,
win.
What date was that?
The Wednesday, the 30th.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
The last game of March. Yeah, the last game of March. Raptors beat the Timberwolves.
Also, interesting
April.
anecdote about March is that the NBA broke the record for most 50-point games in a regular season month,
Including-
in March.
Including Sadiq Bey, who Sam claims is worse than Devin Vassell.
I will stand by that until I go to my grave.
We had this argument.
That
about
was
this
that
one.
was too serious. Yeah. NBA's been guys are like the league is so talented.
Yeah, man.
This game I got two things, man. The Raptors
Sam doesn't care.
felt like the
Yeah, it's talented anyway.
Raw
Yeah.
talent, yeah, whatever.
felt like the Raptors had control of this Timberwolves game for most of the game. Pascal Siakam, second career triple double. He had that his original second career one taken away from him beginning this year.
Yeah.
12, 10, and 13.
Stupid.
That was great. But the other big thing I want to highlight from this game, Thaddeus Young with a massive dunk.
Thaddeus or Daddy?
Oh, sorry, Thaddeus Young with the old legs.
Poster. I would call that a poster. I'd hang it on my wall.
Like a half
I'd
poster.
hang it on my wall. Yeah.
He had a nice little crossover on the way to the rim.
That's a
It
Thaddeus
was
Young
so
poster.
unexpected.
Dude, oh my God, we're all watching it. We're just like, is he gonna? Oh,
I think everyone was like, like Naz Reid was like laughing as like it happened. He was like, "Wow, okay, Thad." Like, but no, this was like I think a lot of guys stepped up in this one. Fred VanVleet his defense looked awesome in this one. We'll get to that probably in the next game. Just a really nice game from the Raptors, man. Really stress free. Great win. Need these wins down the stretch, and
It was pretty close for like the first half.
The start,
and
the
then
start.
and then about the third quarter, we really took it away. Second
Really
half
nice
of the third
second
quarter,
half.
we took it away from them.
Minnesota had us in the first quarter, but then after that we had 42 in the second quarter, and then just kind of went from there. And then second half we really kind of destroyed them.
right on. Yeah, good win.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about the Magic game?
Okay, yeah. So, contrary to what people might think, I mean, I know the Magic is not the most entertaining team to watch, but I enjoyed watching this game. It was interesting. I think there was some takeaways. I think the Magic actually have the potential to be quite good in
I
years
think
to
so
come.
too,
I
man.
think
Man, they got to figure the whole guard situation though. Who do you keep? Do you keep like out of the two of the three? Or who are you getting rid of? Out of Fultz, Suggs, and Anthony?
I'd probably get rid of none of them.
What?
I'd get rid of none of them and just keep Fultz as my backup, and I can play.
Really?
I think you can play all three of them too.
Man, I don't want Fultz to be a backup. I love Fultz, man. I think I still think he has really
stepped
high
it up.
I guess-
He has
potential.
really stepped it up.
I guess I
felt
trade-
so bad for him with his injuries and stuff.
Well, I just don't know where you trade him.
I
to.
guess what you can do is I don't know if I see Cole Anthony as like
I don't think
maybe
Cole
a starter.
I don't know if Cole Anthony will be much better than what he is right now.
Yeah, but why can't I feel like you can just make it work with all three of them. Like one of those guys can just be a bench piece.
Yeah,
I just know
guess.
Suggs.
Just-
I,
Suggs is
honestly,
that.
personally, I'd rather have Cole Anthony coming off the bench.
Yeah,
if
that's-
Markelle Fultz is going to improve.
I agree with that.
Like,
He's just a scorer, Cole
Yeah.
Anthony more than anything. And I mean, this isn't the Magic chat, but we don't talk too much about this. But I just like. Hope no one that'd be such a boring podcast.
so boring. Oh my god.
But I love Fultz just for Fultz's
okay,
sake.
guys,
I don't
we
want to come off the
lost
bench.
again.
You know what guard I am keeping though? Ignas Brasdeikis.
Shut up.
That's
Oh,
the
man.
guard
He's
I'm
not a
keeping.
guard.
He was killing us.
He can be
dude.
anything, man.
But
Don't put him in a box.
I
He can play
gotta
all five
say, it
positions.
was very
Put him in a
disappointing
box.
early on in this game. Within the first minute of the game, I think Franz Wagner rolled his ankle.
The first
just a
play.
nasty roll on his ankle, and it was out for the whole thing.
That's his season.
Yeah.
Dude, it trips me out every time I'm watching the Magic play, and then I'll be like, and a nice bucket by Wagner, and I'm like, oh, fucking Mo Wagner, not Franz Wagner.
Dude, I do not like Mo Wagner.
Really?
Same, man. He was
my
pissing me off,
God.
man.
He's so annoying.
See him
He's
at the end of the
Patrick
game.
Beverley.
At the end of the game, he's like going at Pascal, and Pascal gave him like a little elbow, like
Oh
like, get him
yeah,
off
right.
him.
I do
Yeah, I
remember
saw
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. That's what you got to do when you're not like that good though. You got to.
But I did make a note here.
You suck.
Like we can't take any game for granted, right?
Nope.
Because like we talked about this, we lost to the Magic and the Pistons, the two worst teams in the Eastern Conference, right back to each other. And I think
Also lost to the Thunder this year.
Yeah, and like listen, we did not win this game by a huge margin. We won this game by 12 13 points. It was 102-89.
13 points. We can confirm that.
Exactly. So 13 points we won this game by. Like it's not like we blew them out. You know?
They killed us in the fourth quarter.
They were beating us, man. They had the lead on us a couple times, man.
In the second half, we tied with points. Like we won the first half.
Yeah, and it was really that third quarter where I think it was we started to see some momentum swing our way. We limited them to 17 points, which was like that was good. It was our defense, man. I think we get a lot of momentum from us playing on the defensive end, and that carries into what we can do on the offensive end. A little bit quiet, and I think we had a lot of points distributed. Scotty scored 15 points in the first half, and then he only scored another 3 points.
Big buckets down the stretch there.
Big buckets, yeah, definitely.
Very
A lot of minuses from our whole bench was in the minus, and also weird. I'm not taking anything. I'm just saying it's weird. Pascal was only +4 this game.
Interesting.
And
yeah,
everyone
he was on at the beginning of that fourth quarter when we were getting
yeah,
with that bench unit.
I think you get I guess he was at the bench unit. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because then you look at Fred was a +30
Yeah,
and Scotty
32.
Yeah.
Pascal's only +4.
Very well distributed scoring in this one.
That's
though.
what I was just about to say. I was like, I like to see that well distributed scoring because it just means that we're sharing the ball. We're moving the ball, getting it to the right guys at the right times in the right places. Because I expect Scotty to have 19 points. I expect Fred to have 20+ points. I expect Gary to have 20+. I expect Pascal to have honestly whatever Pascal. I can't get mad with any stat line Pascal has, but. Who am I looking for? I'm looking for OG.
OG 14 on 4 of 8 shooting. Ooh, good shots.
Yeah, exactly. And like so, I expect a little bit more. But the scoring distribution I do like to see because that just means that
I like seeing Precious in double digits also.
Yes, it means we're moving the ball, man, and we're getting it to our guys that are open and they're taking their shots.
Fun fact for you fans listening: Precious Achua is shooting 40% from 3 since the All-Star break.
Yeah, Precious is a whole new animal.
3-point contest.
Precious Nowitzki.
Also, I just wanted to make a note here. Precious shot a little very in rhythm elbow jumper in the second quarter, and I was so happy. It was wide open, and I'm like, Precious, man, you could be a whole nother threat if you add that elbow jumper to your game, dude.
Yeah.
Like when you have the space, it frustrates me so much because Precious. With the 3-point shooting, I think teams are now starting to recognize that Precious is a little bit more of a threat from the 3-point line, so they are extending a little bit out more on him, which is like, okay, if you give him a good pump fake and you get him inside, like, bro, you can't go right to the rim all the time because there's still like 2 defenders down there oftentimes, and a lot of the times it's the center.
You see Pascal has that in his game, right?
Exactly.
The mid-range, and see how well it works for him.
How it works
And
amazing.
Having a mid-range shot opens up so much on the floor because if you make mid-range shots and they're up on you, then you can blow by them. It just opens everything up for you.
No, absolutely. And I just I think that could raise Precious's like the assets that he has available to him if he and his threat level as a player on the court if he does add that. He's got a smooth jumper, dude.
Yeah, he'll get that mid-range up at some point.
But I just wanted to make a note of it because it looked smooth, it looked in rhythm, and it looked just like a total easy part that he could add to his game because he is a good 3-point shooter. And I think teams respect that, and it's like, okay, well, now you can add so much more to your game if you just, take these next steps.
Yeah.
But he's young. Anyways, just Precious, I was very impressed with how under control he was.
Impressed.
I was quite impressed with him and how under control he was during this game. He got a very fast pass from Thad on a fast break, and Precious was very delicate in making sure that he
Caught
the ball
Because
and
this
put
is
it up.
That might sound like nothing, but like 3 months ago, we were going at him for not being able to catch a basketball.
Yeah.
So that's a big improvement.
And to not make delicate layups, soft touch. He needed to have that soft touch around the rim, and so Thad gave him this really quick pass. Precious caught it, super soft touch around the rim, and able to make that basket. And I was very impressed with how he was playing in terms of that aspect of his game. It's just more refining type of behavior. But the Magic, they're a competitive team, at least in the first half. For halftime, we were at 59-46. We had a solid lead up on them, but we couldn't you can't take that sort of stuff for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like we that doesn't mean you lift off the gas. That's not that big of a lead. Like, you know, you need to keep it going.
And these are must-win wins.
These are must-win wins, absolutely, because this only propels us further into changing our seed from the 6th seed to the 5th seed potentially, and just keeping and solidifying our spot in the out of the play.
And that 4th seed's not out of reach, man.
No.
Home court advantage would be solid.
That would be a little bit of a game changer. But even though we haven't really played well at home, but the playoffs are so different though. So one thing that I noticed that was really turning this game around was the amount of turnovers we were creating, man. Like just the steals that we were getting, big defensive stops. I think we're initiating a lot of solid play from our guys and a lot of transition baskets, and that's where we started to see things turn around. Was when we get a lot of these steals, and we do get more transition basketball. That's where we thrive. We're very good. We're a quick team. As soon as we get the ball, we're looking to push it up the court, and that just like further extends our lead. So I think that's what was really carrying us through that third quarter. It was very late before we saw substitutions in this game too. It was like it was interesting just to see that. Like, I'm like, we're playing a team like the Magic. Armani Brooks, he didn't play very much.
Yeah.
I was kind of looking forward to him
He
playing.
didn't play at all.
More. Oh, really?
Our bench guys hardly like.
Yeah, that's right.
Precious had the most minutes, and he played 16 minutes
Exactly.
against the Magic.
That was weird.
Yeah, I think Nick recently you've seen he's kind of testing out a bit of a playoff rotation.
Yeah.
Getting guys cut down to minutes.
Also, there was a little bit at the end of the third quarter. We were pretty stagnant with our offense, and Chris hit like a super clutch 3. And I'm like, that is the exact type of thing that we need to get our offense going again. Because when they start closing those leads and we're not creating on offense, or we're getting defensive stops, but we still are not creating enough on offense and being able to extend that lead, having somebody like Chris just hit like a 3 kind of just gives everybody that little bit of fire, a little bit of spark back, and allows us to, be a little bit more aggressive out there and just be like, okay, guys, we actually are, let's go. Let's
He's
finish
clutch
this game.
too.
It was very clutch. Fourth quarter, I just wanted to make a note of Nick with another successful challenge. I would love to know what the rate is with Nick with his challenges, because I think that we have just gotten some just terrible calls, man. Terrible calls as of recently, and it just is so frustrating to see. And I'm very glad that Nick got another successful challenge. Just wrote down Pascal is definitely our most consistent defender. I just never have to worry about him.
He had a great defensive game.
Defensive game.
Let me shout out Fred VanVleet, man. His defense in this one was like top tier defense.
Fred had a few weeks there since his whole, I guess, since his knee thing, that his defenses looked like real shaky and just like not where it was at the start of the season. And that's the past 3 games that has come around back to like the Fred we used to know. Very much needed, especially for the playoffs coming around the corner. We need that from him.
Absolutely.
I saw Will Liu on Twitter post, like in the Wolves game and then in this Magic game, I think Fred forced at least double-digit turnovers in each of these games. Whether with him just getting his hands in passing lanes, like digging down on big players, like he's been just like I in that first half of Fred VanVleet's defense in this Magic game was some of the best defense I've ever seen from him in his whole career. I thought he was just everywhere, like causing so many turnovers. It was so fun to see.
And yeah, it was. I was very impressed with Fred. Honestly, the whole game, he was hitting a lot of his shots, and it was just exciting to see him at that level again. So the last thing I have to say here, I think this was the epitome of a decent basketball game. We didn't play extremely well.
It didn't impress me.
And
it didn't disappoint me.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
It was just there.
Is that not the definition of the Orlando Magic?
Yeah.
Like they're just kind of there.
It was like good. We won.
Yeah, I'm like, it was very just
like
decent.
Like when I was watching, I didn't have much emotion. I was like, oh, cool, good shot.
Yeah.
Like that was
Okay.
Yeah, because I just knew it was
It's
going to
cool
happen.
to see Fred hit some of those like deep threes though again. Like I feel like we haven't seen him like consistently hit those in a while.
Fred since the All-Star break, Fred's only averaging about 15 points a game on 4 shooting.
Yeah.
So he's had a rough stretch, but
Looks like he's turning the corner recently. Yeah.
Especially in this last game.
Before.
Yes. Just the last thing is we didn't allow them to score in the last 2 minutes. Thought it was pretty awesome.
Yep.
And then a great stat line from Scotty. He had 19, 8, and 7. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, close to a triple-double.
Oh, yeah.
Rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Scotty Roy.
Rookie of the year.
Scotty
Okay,
Roy,
next, moving on.
I don't like that. Scotty Roy.
Before we get into the game.
The game.
So this was Kyle Lowry's return. Do you want to do like a little talk on Kyle Lowry? I was gonna ask you guys. Do you guys have like a favorite Kyle Lowry moment?
I was
like,
thinking about this earlier because I
like
saw
the
this.
biggest Kyle Lowry moment that comes to your mind.
Some Raptors page posted on Instagram. And I was like, what is my favorite Lowry moment?
Yeah.
I really don't know because
Really?
the one that immediately came to my mind was the 11 straight points in Game 6 in the finals.
My thought, yeah.
But like, I'm also thinking like, was it my favorite? Like, in the moment, was that my favorite? Like, oh my god, I love you, Kyle Lowry moment. Because also like that comeback against Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still of a big deal. But that was huge. That half court shot was like maybe 5th in my list. Like,
I was asleep for it.
It's just,
I didn't
it's
see
just
it
an
live.
exciting play.
yeah, but because we lost that game too. That's kind of what it boils
Yeah,
down to. It's
we
like we
did lose
lost. So I'm
that
just like,
game.
and that shot against Cleveland. I remember that shot against Cleveland vividly. The step back
When he had his
deep two.
when he had his career high.
Yeah.
That was the point.
I don't know, man. It was a lot, but Kyle Lowry was the last Toronto Raptor that was on the team. So I started watching the Raptors.
Yeah.
I started watching in
Yeah.
Me
2013.
too.
Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah.
yeah.
So what? Let me ask you guys this: and what is your favorite part about Kyle Lowry's game? Like, what about his game is exciting for you to watch and is like so unique to him?
I loved. This was more like young Lowry. You didn't see this as much at the end of his career, but like Lowry
In
like
his
was
career.
at the end of his Raptors career, or like and like now in the tail end of his
Yeah, yeah.
career. But like Lowry, I don't think gets credit for as a young player how explosive he was around the rim.
Mhm.
Not like he wasn't dunking on dudes, but he was so strong.
And that first step, that
Yeah.
blow by step.
And I used to love how Lowry could just get to the rim, bounce off dudes, and finish.
He makes layups that Fred can't make, and they're like
he's just a different level of athlete. He's just a different level of explosive athlete. And I always used to love when Fred Kyle just put his head down.
And just go.
Yeah.
And then toss it over his head and get it. Oh, man.
And just like those times in the game, like where it was just like, and like, you know, what, like you're down like 4 or whatever, start of the 4th quarter, and Kyle Lowry just goes, okay, we're not losing this game.
Yeah.
And he's just going to hit like a pull up 3, take a charge, have a big steal, have an awesome pass. And then,
Everything that happens on the floor in like a close game, Kyle's part of it.
Yeah.
Whether it's just an emotional support, like
That's such a dramatic.
it's a big
photo
deal.
of
Also,
him.
the Groat thing made his basketball reference nickname list.
Oh, yeah?
Ugh,
what is the Kayla?
such a disgusting.
Mr.
thing.
Raptor.
wow.
Never heard that
Mr.
before.
Raptor.
Mr. Raptor. That's a bad nickname.
That's not very creative.
Kalo. Yeah,
One
Groat.
of Philly's finest.
And then K-Lobe with an E. K-L-O-E.
Oh, yeah. Kyle Lowry of everything.
Oh, what? I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Oh. Facts, though. And Bulldog. I think my favorite part of this Lowry's game is that just like he on the Raptors was that like just he was always involved. He was a lot of guys in
He
the
took
NBA.
pride in his position as a Raptor.
A lot of guys you forget is on the basketball court sometimes. Like Andrew Wiggins, I think is the prime example of this, where he'll go on these good runs like in the first half. In the second half, you forget he's there.
That's NBA All-Star, Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, NBA All-Star starter Andrew Wiggins. But Kyle Lowry, no matter when the game was or what part of the game it was, he was always. You knew he was in the game.
Yeah.
You knew he was always making an impact.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I think that's like a huge thing for me too. Is that I don't think I ever watched a Raptors game and said Kyle did not make an impact in this game.
No.
And like that's what I think I don't know. I feel like we miss that to a certain extent. Like I feel like everybody on the Raptors right as of right now, except for probably Pascal, but even still, Pascal doesn't necessarily impact the game the same way Kyle did. Kyle is such a motivator.
He's different, man.
Yeah, like Pascal isn't the same sort of like motivator that Kyle was. No. Like Kyle is like he's very passionate and you know he talks to the players and he uplifts people. And Pascal is very much I think a little bit more reserved.
Yeah, he is.
A
That's
little,
okay.
and then that's fine.
It's
Yeah,
just-
I'm not asking him to be Kyle Lowry.
It's just
but-
Kyle Lowry's the person. Like he is so underrated. Period. First of all, but also just
Because
like
he was on the Raptors for so long.
yeah, but it's just really like people think Kawhi carries that championship. Like no, Kyle Lowry was such a big part of that.
You have to watch
There's no
him.
championship without Kyle
No.
Lowry on that
No,
team.
Not even close.
no.
And you have to watch Kyle Lowry to appreciate. Like I loved his
His mannerisms, man. It's just the little things he does.
I loved his championship year, and he can go through so many reforms as a player. Like
Yep.
in 2016, 2017, right when he was more of a scorer with DeMar, he was giving you 22 a game, and then that championship year when he was incorporating Kawhi, Pascal took a step as a scorer.
Yeah, even Fred off the bench. Like
Yeah.
Fred played a big part off the
He
bench.
scored 14, but he almost led the league in assists. He had 8.7 assists, and that's what makes Kyle Lowry so.
And then he's
Uni-
he's doing this while doing everything else that you don't see. You guys see, you guys talk about Draymond Green being a non-stat guy, right? Like he's so good we don't see in the stats. Kyle Lowry does give you stats, but does those things also.
Yes. And like it's so funny too because the year that Kawhi leaves, the next year, that 2020 year,
he's back to 20
he goes
points a
back
game.
to averaging almost 20 points per game.
I loved that season from Kyle.
As a 30 what 33 year
I think
old?
the most the year after Kawhi left, the 2019-2020 season, that was the most impressive Kyle Lowry season. For me. That was most impressive.
It was awesome.
He carried. We almost went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And he carried us.
Yeah. In those playoffs, he was like
he didn't carry us.
he ended Kemba Walker's All-Star form.
Yeah,
like,
man.
That poor man was just.
We were so close.
His knees are dying.
Can you believe how close that roster was to going to Eastern Conference Finals?
Very.
And then we play with Miami in the we could have beat Miami.
If my theory is if there's no COVID, that team goes to the finals.
Yeah, like we're an underrated organization. First of all, Nick Nurse underrated coach, Kyle Lowry underrated player.
And I just the first thing that actually came to my mind when I was thinking about my most memorable Lowry moment was against the Bucks when he tried to go under George Hill's legs. Like that was literally the first.
I was kind of annoyed
thing.
at that. I was like, "What are you doing?"
That was the first thing that came to my mind.
That.
Like
I remember that.
I was like,
funny.
"That's kind of the epitome of Kyle Lowry to me." Like just
I was
doing the most wild thing to get like ahead. Like,
I was watching my parents. They're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Well, that's
what he does.
You
though.
love those
Yeah.
plays
Yeah.
when Kyle's on your team.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because we're watching Kyle against the Heat tonight. He has like a super floppy charge, and we're like, "That's a flop, Kyle." But like,
like Kyle, come on, man.
exactly.
But that's what he did.
That's what he did for us all the time, and he got those calls, man.
Do you imagine like how that like Indiana Pacers fans probably hated Kyle and like
Oh,
Cavs fans probably hated Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean that's kind of what makes like I don't know.
So it's just so interesting seeing one on the other side.
Yeah.
Playing against Kyle Lowry. First time as a Raptors fan I ever watched a game playing against Kyle Lowry.
Like
Weird to
as
think
your
about
team.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird to
And we
think
got to
about.
do it together, guys,
Yeah, it's a big deal.
as friends.
We have a Lowry. Oh no, we don't. We should have hung up the Lowry jersey for this one.
Oh
yeah.
damn, we should have hung up the Lowry jersey. Fuck.
Can't see his name.
Oops.
Oh, there he is. He's right there.
Oh yeah, here. Yeah, we'll just hold this up. I'll hold this up rest of the podcast. Anyway, yeah. Is that what you guys are saying?
No, yeah. I just my favorite thing about Kyle Lowry is just how unique of a player he is and how many different roles he takes on. How like he's this little point guard who's an awesome post defender, and then he's also this can go out and be like your scorer and hit these crazy pull up jumpers.
He can help you come back from a 30-point deficit in
Yeah.
the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
With
definitely.
step back threes, or he can give you 3 points and 17 assists and like 15 rebounds for whatever reason.
He can even give you 3, 5, and 5 and still be the MVP of the game.
Yeah.
That's how much of an impact just having him on the floor is.
Yeah.
And like you guys really got to watch. If you're not a Raptors fan, you probably don't actually know how good Kyle Lowry was, and that's just like that's okay. But I'm just saying like really got to watch this guy to see how good Kyle Lowry really was.
He's truly one of the greatest players of his era.
Yeah,
He
and
truly is. He's a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
He's
hands
Hall of
down.
Famer.
And he is the greatest Raptor of all time.
And yeah, oh yeah, and he always will. Like there might be
Gross.
guys who come along and like have like maybe Scotty Barnes comes around right and wins championships with the Raptors.
Yeah.
But I just think Kyle Lowry would just hold that place.
It's really hard to just not say Kyle Lowry is the best Raptor.
Yeah.
Just what he's done. It's
The
like,
Raptors aren't where they are now without him. What he
we're not
brought to this roster.
We're not relevant without Kyle Lowry.
No, and think of all the guys in this roster who he was like their mentor to, right? Fred, Pascal, OG, Norm beforehand.
DeLon Wright was another one.
these
Everybody
dudes.
that comes to Raptors, he touched.
Corey
Yeah.
Joseph.
Yeah, and then
Look at
now-
Biombo's contract,
Yeah,
Serge
Bismack
Ibaka's.
Biyombo,
He can
Bismack
thank Kyle Lowry for that.
Serge Ibaka.
No, and that's kind of getting implemented to Fred now. We're seeing where Kyle gave that to Fred, and now it feels like everybody that comes to the Raptors, Fred's kind of touching that way, you know, figuratively.
Make sure we're important to say that.
Yeah, but yeah, no, like you see, like for even like Armani Brooks, like I saw they're having like a huddle. Fred called a huddle and was like talking to Armani straight up in the huddle. And it's like he's actually just making an impact on these guys and on their careers and everything.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's Kyle, man. It's so like we're saying, like there's no talking about the Raptors without talking about Kyle Lowry. He's a name that will go down in Raptors history as just the greatest Raptor of all time, and he really deserves all the love that anyone
And
has
then
the
some.
capacity to give to him, because it's just, man, like he's such a
good guy.
Yeah, such an energetic person and somebody who is so passionate about Toronto. And that's what I think is also so important about Kyle as well, is that, man, Kawhi left us, bro. Like good players constantly leave Toronto, but he was one of these high caliber, one of the best point guards in the league for a long time. High caliber player who had such a a passion and a loyalty to Toronto and such an enthusiasm for the Toronto as a city and the Raptors as an organization and as a team. And he wears the Raptors on his sleeve, and it's just like this. That to us is so important. You know what I mean? Like, listen, Kawhi Leonard's awesome, but like he'll never get the same sort of love that Kyle has in Canada, bro. Like he just can't. Like
Kawhi was a very good basketball player that came to the team, and he was like, I mean, I'm very grateful we had Kawhi Leonard.
Yes, absolutely.
I love Kawhi for giving us a championship, but I mean, Kyle Lowry's just.
It's just a different connection.
Totally different. Yeah. But anyway, so we move on to this Heat game.
Yeah, we've kind of heard about it. I feel like we've talked about this game so many times already because we've done all the other recordings. Like what Raptors lost to the Heat last night. Tough-ish loss. I mean, I felt like there were chances down the stretch, but also the Heat played like sometimes you lose and the team that beats you has a really good game.
Our Tyler Hero just cooked us all game. Like
it's one of those situations where it's like you can't be too upset. They played better than us. They just hit their shots.
And sometimes That's team, these guys are like the best of the best basketball players, and when they get really hot, like Victor Oladipo, not a great NBA player anymore, but that dude still has the talent that he had when he was in Indiana, right?
And then
so you can still pop off.
It's kind of funny. Like people are like Max Strus killed us. Like, dude, he's like a top 400 basketball player on this planet. Yeah. He's like,
he'd have one day where he wakes up and just like the shot's just going in. Yeah. Like that dude has made more shots. Like he's insane.
He also always cooks us. I was expecting it.
But yeah, like this, I think the story of this one was their bench guys really stepped up. Max Strus 23 points, 7 for 9 from 3. Victor Oladipo 21.6 for 9 from 3, and then Hero, as Luke said, a really good game like inside the arc. He had 18 points with only 1 3. And 8 assists, 9 boards. Wow, 8 assists. He was like really penetrating the defense, and like we couldn't keep him in front of him at all. And that's where you miss OG, because I think you throw OG on Hero, and that really shuts him down.
Oh yeah.
Bam.
8 assists, man. Like that's big.
Kyle had
Kyle
had a nice night. 8 assists.
8 assists. Yeah, sorry.
Kyle had a nice night, 16 and 10, and then Bam Adebayo I thought had a good game inside.
I think for a lot of the game, like they outworked us, man. Like they were hitting their shots when we weren't. They were playing great defense, and we just couldn't get anything going. Like
we just couldn't close it at the end.
Yeah, we couldn't. And
the third quarter killed us.
That's the tough thing. It's like it's moments like that where you're gonna see like a team either if the game is close all game, which it was an exciting game to watch for the most part. Down the stretch, what's gonna determine whether who's gonna win this game is who's hitting their shots, who's actually like putting the points on the board, and when it comes down to it, like Pascal couldn't get a whole lot going. He had a late 3, which is great, but like
he still finished with 29.
Yeah, he finished with.
He had to work for like he didn't he all those shots at the end were like really tough buckets. They weren't. Easy looks from our offense.
Pascal has to get. The way Pascal scores is so hard. Like he's making some tough shots every game, consistently making tough shots.
Yeah. I was very impressed though with how Fred played this game.
Yeah.
I think Fred. I mean, less so down the stretch. But for the majority of this game, Fred looked like OG Freddie. Like he
21 in the first half.
Yeah, like he was scoring. He was getting to his spots. He had confidence. He had that swagger about him that we know Fred for having. I think he was very excited to play Kyle. I think you could
see the emotion from Fred this game, especially near the end when he missed that shot at the end there.
Yeah,
you could tell he really wanted to win this game.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it had to do with. Fred has so much respect for Kyle, and I think he wants to show his respect by showing Kyle how much he can ball out.
Yeah.
Especially with his struggles that he's had as of recent. I think Fred really had a chip on his shoulder to be able to, convey that message to Kyle, like I'm the guy since you've left, and I've taken over this.
I think it's more like a thing like. You helped me get here.
Yeah,
I want to show you what you helped me get to.
It's almost like passing the torch, right? It's
like Anakin versus Obi-Wan.
Yeah, man. Yeah. For real though, like it is the. There's a word that I'm trying to find, but it's not coming to my mind. But
cool.
It's cool, very cool. No, but it's just that it's the procession, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It's a movement. It's the next era of the Raptors team, right? There's no Kyle Lowry. It's the last person who was on that team from, the championship that had been with the team for an extremely long period of time.
Since the DeMar DeRozan
exactly.
era.
Yeah,
I think it's like Fred's taking Kyle Lowry's role, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he wants to show like I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I am doing
And he
this.
played awesome. Like Fred and Pascal, right? This is their team now, right? This is the Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam era, and they each had 29 points. And I thought they played awesome. I thought Scotty and Gary Trent, you could argue about a few little
it's
things, but they
Ken
played.
Burchera too. Ken Burchera too.
Scotty and Gary Trent, they each gave you 19. You just need a bench production in this one, and the bench in this one had 13 points.
That's not 13 points. Yeah, I think I don't know where I forgot something in my head, but I forgot. But yeah.
Ken Burch is the best player. No.
I think like, what do you guys expect from the bench in the playoffs?
Nothing. No.
Like what do you genuinely think we're like? What's your expectations for them?
Honestly,
what's disappointing to you?
I want you to play good defense,
Yep.
and I want you to score like. Give me 10 points.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like, just give me 10.
The
Just
bar
give me
is so
something.
low.
Like, just play good defense and give us like 10 points.
Personally,
please.
I expect the most out of Thad Young in the playoffs.
Me too, yeah,
I expect
totally.
a lot. I think he's gonna be a big
and
part
dude,
of our
you know who I
rotation.
expect a lot of out of too? Amani Brooks, man. Like, no, just kidding.
Okay, that's like a strategy bro play.
No,
I could see Thad and Chris because they both.
I expect a 30-point game from you, Armani Brooks, in the playoffs.
At least two.
At least
at
two.
le- we-
Every round.
Every round.
Until
Yeah.
we're gonna win the championship also. So like until we get there.
better-
is Armani
You
the Brooks
carry
the
us,
next
bro.
Donovan Mitchell?
dude, next Devin Booker, I think, man.
Oh yeah, I think I don't know. I think Armani's a little better than Devin.
He's right on his way.
Are
He's
they the
getting
same
there.
age?
I would say he's getting there. I wouldn't say yet, but he's getting there.
I think Devin Booker had like 70 points at this age.
But also, yeah, from Boucher, man, I think Boucher can still have a big impact. I just don't want him to shoot. Like, he shot 10 shots tonight. I don't want him to shoot 10 shots.
No.
The shots in the playoffs are for Fred, Gary, Scotty, Pascal, OG.
But
Unless you're wide open.
Unless you're wide open.
Again, I think a lot of those shots that Chris is taking, we're settling for those shots. Chris is just the guy with the ball in his hands in the last 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And it's like
Pulls
Someone's gotta
catapult.
take it. Someone's gotta take it.
I know,
Perhaps the
and it just
catapult.
happens to be Chris. I honestly don't blame Chris for that. I really don't
No.
put too much responsibility on him for taking some of those shots because, dude,
I just like in the playoffs, if I see some bad shot selection, I will be more upset.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's not the time or place.
I'd rather have Chris, like, if you have 5 seconds left, like, maybe just shot fake drive and kick it. Like, I don't know. Like, just yeah.
Just
Like,
don't even shoot it, man. Just hold it until the shot
Yeah.
goes up.
Malachi Flynn, by the way, was technically active for tonight's game. Didn't realize that. So
I would love.
I don't.
I kind of want to see what he can do in a playoff series.
I wish he was healthy this whole time.
I know, man. Me too. 'Cause
these
I-
last games would have been important for him to play just for minutes, man.
You know, maybe get him in there for a few minutes, like because I do think he's the type of guy if a team goes zone,
he's good to have.
or
Like,
Fred VanVleet's in foul trouble or something like that, right?
off our bench, we really don't have any shooting threats off our bench. I mean, Armani Brooks, you can maybe, but like Malachi Flynn is our only shot creator off our bench, who's like anything
Oh,
as
yeah.
a shot creator.
Yeah.
And
or a passer.
or a passer. Just
Well, I guess that, but not. He's a different type of passer.
yeah, he just gives you something else. Like he's a good.
He's a ball mover.
Yeah, and he's a good pick and roll player
Yeah.
too, which is good with Pascal and Scotty. So I would be interested to see what he can do in a playoff series, especially if you're just matching up with the other team's bench, right?
Yeah.
Put him in, see what he can do.
If I'm Nick Nurse in the playoffs, I think Thad is probably my number one bench dude.
He will be.
And then I'm going with Chris, and whatever one out of Chris and Precious have it that day. If you need a little more of inside defense, you go with Precious. If you want Chris's ability to
I think that
cause chaos, then you throw Chris out there.
I
right?
think those two will be very dependent on their matchup.
Yep.
Yeah,
And just who's hot from three.
yeah.
If
And to be honest,
if any.
yeah.
I don't really think we've seen Thad's defense to its fullest extent. I think that he knows.
I think he's
and
a playoff player.
Yeah, like he knows, and the coaching staff knows. Like, dude, you're getting pretty old. Like, don't exert yourself too much in these games because coming to playoffs, I think it's important that we do have you at a certain physical level.
There's a play in that Heat game where he got the steal, awesome steal.
Yeah.
But man,
He, like, walked.
took him like 10 seconds to get up that court.
I know.
And Duncan Robinson and I think it was Martin maybe they were a good bit behind him and they caught him very.
So quick. I was like, damn, Thad. He definitely got fouled on that play,
Yeah,
though,
he
and they didn't call it. But
He tried, man. He tried.
But I think Thad's young
effort.
impact. I think Thad Young's impact will be so evident in the playoffs.
Oh,
Having
yeah.
that just veteran leadership and the good decision making, the good passing, the fundamentals, man.
Yep.
That's very important for a
And
playoff
yeah,
series.
like you just said, the leadership. I think that's a whole nother level of because he just has that experience, man. Like how many times has Thad been to the playoffs?
Oh God.
Oh, a lot.
A ton.
He has been on a. He's like a playoff player. Like
And
6 or
like
7.
you know what? Another thing too is that Thad brought this up on the podcast that he did with Chris. Is like he's like I played against Kobe, You know,
Yeah.
LeBron in their peak days, bro. Like
He's been there.
Yeah, like
been
he's
through
like I've seen a lot of basketball, and I think it's just because people kind of forget Thad Young exists, and he's still he's a 15 whatever year veteran in this. No, it's 15 years. No, that doesn't make sense.
He's got 51 career playoff games.
Yeah, like that is a lot, man. Like it's
He averaged double digits in almost every single one.
What's
and
the
that
next?
is hella important, man. And he's gonna be extremely impactful down in the stretch for a lot of these games. I think we're gonna depend on him for his defense and maybe a little bit of corner 3-point shooting. Who knows?
Man, Elias
He's
called
lethal,
it.
man.
Yeah, that's his guy in that corner.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I trust
and
him.
Pascal and Fred both have Pascal's 49 and Fred is 48 career playoff games. So those are your and OG,
And
but
well,
OG was
even
hurt for that
OG,
stretch.
yeah, like he didn't really play in the championship run.
Yeah.
He didn't play period in the championship run.
He was great in the bubble. I
oh
thought,
man,
but
he was awesome.
he's gonna.
That's a whole different
I
thing.
think OG's gonna be really big if the Raptors want to do a.
We talked about this before. He's our X factor.
Yeah.
Going to the playoffs. He needs.
Yep.
If we want to do well, OG needs to do well.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
very true. I think OG can do well. He's
Oh, for sure.
He's another one of those guys that performs very well under pressure.
Yeah, I'm confident. OG. He's very well. He's also very reserved, but like he's nervous, obviously, but he doesn't let it get to him as much as other people do.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, I'm gonna just go and play basketball.
Yeah, I don't even think. Yeah, I mean, it's just like his personality, right? He's just not like an expressive person.
Yeah. Even like he literally won us a very crucial playoff game and didn't smile.
No,
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
like he
And
was
it
just,
wasn't like a badass
He's
like
like
Derrick
walked
Rose not
away.
smile. He just started walking.
he's
like,
just a different kind of guy. Like
Built
that's
different.
just OG.
different.
That's just OG. That's what makes who. That's what makes him who he is.
I love OG. Agugwa.
Yeah, man. Raptors lost tonight. Not the end of the world. I think we're gonna realistically be in that 5th or 6th seed. I think the 4th seed is a little bit out of reach right now because Philly won tonight.
Updated on this question. Do you still want to play Miami in the playoffs, or now that Robert Williams
I
is
was
out?
just gonna say that, man. I don't want to play Miami that much.
Yeah, I don't want.
Even though
I
I
don't want
don't-
guys to get.
I just don't want to play the
legs.
Bucks, man. I would
Yeah.
really hate
Yeah,
to play
that's
the Bucks.
that's where I'm at right now. I just don't want to play the Bucks.
Now that Rob's hurt and there's the vaccine questions looming over the Celtics are definitely. I want Philly for sure. I think
the most.
I want to play Philly the most.
I think that's actually a big thing too because they don't have depth right now because they traded all the way for James Harden.
Yeah.
And having no depth plus having Joel Embiid.
And I just don't trust.
That's a good point.
I mean, I just don't trust their perimeter defense. I just don't think they have anyone to stop what the Raptors want to do other than Joel. I don't think Matisse Thybulle.
I know the comments are probably saying Matisse Thybulle. He's not that guy. Not that guy, pal.
No, Matisse Thybulle, you're not that.
I mean,
you're good.
honestly,
but
I have
honestly,
been hearing rumblings, though, people wanting to see a matchup with the 76ers, and I'm like, okay.
I mean, I still think this. I would still. I mean, if I was betting, I would bet the 76ers to win that series just because of the talent level. but-
I'm betting we're losing these series.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But the best
That's
chance,
not who we are right now.
the best chance for
But-
the Raptors to win is the 76ers.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And the Celtics are up there, right? Without Rob, that's
big because that's a big part of the defense.
yeah, the Time Lord.
But also we saw when we played against
And
them,
who knows,
their
like what
defense
we
was still
were
really
we were
good.
talking about those
Yeah.
rumors with the vaccine
Yeah.
thing as well. We don't know like what the deal is for
Wow.
like them being available to play.
Al Horford
I-
just came out and said he's like. Someone asked me, said I'm able to play. So it must be if
Jaylen
there's something, it's
Brown.
Brown because they keep being cagey. Like Brad Stevens had some answers, and he was really cagey about answering them. Who knows?
Yeah, here's where I'm at. Don't give me Milwaukee. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can Bulls, Sixers, or probably won't play the Bulls, but Sixers, Celtics, and Heat. I think I'm not gonna say I'm confident we win it, but I think we'll make it very competitive.
Milwaukee, there's a realistic chance we get swept,
Yes.
Yeah,
and it's ugly.
Very true.
And it's ugly.
yeah.
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 That's a
expose
well-oiled.
us, man.
That's a well-oiled machine, and they've got the best player in the.
But
in the
also,
world.
I can see Milwaukee by the end of the season moving up, in the standings.
Yeah, Miami's starting to pull away a little bit though. Now they're up 2 games with about 4 to go.
The problem is the rest
3
of
to
the
go.
Giannis like that too.
Yeah.
Dude, they're playing this. They're playing strategic. But I think the Bucks want the Bulls more than they want the Raptors.
I don't think the Bucks care, honestly.
Yeah, you're
I think they're that good,
You're
man.
right,
I think they're
you're
that
right.
good. I think they're
You're right.
confident with whoever they play. I think they know they're the best team in the East.
The Bucks are my Eastern Conference champions.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the Bucks win, but I'd also like to see the Suns.
I want
win
the Suns to win.
championship.
I think it's Suns and Bucks again.
I love it. I love a good rematch.
Me too. I want the Suns to win though.
I'd
My
love
boy,
the
give me
Suns
my
to
boy
win.
Bossman 99. He's been around.
My boy Boss Man 99.
He's
And we
been
got
knocking on the door for a
uh,
championship.
DeAndre
I-
Ayton is a little bit more experienced now too.
Oh yeah.
He was great in the playoffs last year. Dude.
Yeah, but
Ayton,
he's
oh my
young.
God.
The best
dude,
shooting
man.
guard in
He's
the
like
NBA.
23.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ayton. I was like, what?
Like best shooting guard. What?
Ayton's a small forward, dude.
Totally.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges, the best role player in the NBA.
Dude, DeAndre Ayton, LeBron James, like
I just think with the Raptors, with the Raptors, if we get a competitive playoff series in the first round, that would just be so good for our young team to get that experience.
I'm just happy we're getting a playoff series.
I know,
did not
but
think you were going to get
I just
one,
don't want
so-
to get swept in the first round because I mean, if we do, we do. But
never want to get swept.
But I feel like it would be so beneficial for us to have a competitive playoff series with this young roster,
Mm-hmm.
getting that experience.
Yeah.
That's real playoff experience.
Yeah.
But if we getting swept in the first round, that's not.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to know what a game 6 feels like,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like game 6 on the road, you're down 3-2. You need a win, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Super important. By the way, the Brooklyn Nets are in the 10th seed right now,
Wow.
Also,
but they can't fall out of it.
no.
But
Also, Brook Lopez looks pretty good again.
yeah,
And if he's good, that means Giannis has everything else to work with. Especially, like, if you get a matchup,
You're scaring me, man.
you
I'm
get-
getting anxious.
if
I
you
see
get
Giannis in my nightmares.
if you get a matchup, if we get a Bucks Sixers matchup, the Sixers I think are like low key fucked because if Brook Lopez is on the 3-point line, that means Embiid's out there guarding him. Giannis has everything to work with inside, and that is just recipe for disaster.
Or you have to put Joel on
Giannis.
Giannis. But
And then
there's
that-
just
then-
so many
then-
holes defensively on that team.
And then that'll get into foul trouble.
Yeah.
You know Giannis can draw fouls.
And you need Joel to really you need Joel's like on offense, and then you're doing both, and it's
Yeah, and then you have Drew Holiday on Harden.
yeah. And man, James Harden, I love you, but
Why?
I just defend him because he gets unfairly shit on for just being a normal person sometimes.
That's true.
I just think but yeah, Sixers. Daryl Morey, I don't like you, so I hope you lose, and you hope your team sucks and all your moves suck. You idiot.
You
James Harden
idiot.
just gets so much shit for being a normal person. I mean, fuck you, Daryl Morey.
Yeah.
It's Daryl Morey.
Being
It's
rich.
Daryl Morey's
Being rich.
Nah, he's a yeah.
I
You're a
know.
jackass, Daryl Morey.
Um,
You're not good at your job.
Okay.
That was too much.
On that note,
You're a bad father. I'm just joking. I don't know
I
about your
bet your kids are
fatherhood.
spoiled.
They definitely are, though. I mean, come on.
They are.
They're gonna turn out like Kendall Roy and the Roy family.
Shout out
Shout out
Succession.
Succession. They play all.
Daryl Morey's the Elon Musk of the NBA.
When
We should-
Succession
we
was
should-
new, this season was playing, they're advertising it a lot on NBA.
Hey,
and we
Scotty-
We should make our intro music
Succession.
Succession theme song.
Scotty Roy.
Yeah.
Scotty Roy.
Scotty
I
Roy.
hate that. It's such a bad name.
Uh,
All
All
right.
right, is that it for this?
I think that'll be it for us.
Sure. Looking ahead real quick. The season is winding
4
down.
games left, man.
We got Brook. Oh no, that's the Rockets. We have the Hawks on Tuesday. That's another big game. The
Yep.
Hawks are gunning
I think-
for some seeding.
At this point, we're pretty much set, not in the play-in.
Yeah,
We're 2.5
because the
games
Cavs
ahead of
lost
Cleveland. Yeah.
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
we can call them big games, but
just get one of these.
what was the next one? Hawks and then
Hawks. Then we got Sixers on Thursday. That
still is a big game.
Depending on how the next few games shake out, that could
That could be-
depend. We could get the 4 seed. Unlikely, but there's still a chance.
Yeah.
Because we have the tiebreaker on Philly. And then our last game, then we got the Rockets at home right after that. Second night of a back-to-back. All right. But that's way after.
We're probably rest guys.
Yeah,
at that
I'm
point.
so far ahead of when we record.
You're looking way ahead.
Yeah.
We have
now
one
we're
game.
now we're in the looking way ahead section.
Yeah.
in the first round of the
That's
playoffs.
looking ahead, looking way ahead.
So next season we start against.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to summer league this year. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to preseason.
Hey, dude, preseason next year we fire.
Yeah. Next year playoffs though.
Oh, dude, 4 seed for sure.
Dude,
at least.
end of the regular season 2 years from now. Gonna
Oh,
be
dude.
crazy, bro.
That's gonna be a crazy
Oh
game.
man,
against the
Victor
Pistons.
Wembanyama is gonna be so good by then. Oh.
Chet Holmgren.
Okay,
right.
anyways, let's wrap it up here, folks.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for tuning into the RapChat podcast. If you're watching on
Appreciate
YouTube,
ya.
make sure to leave a rating and also if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, make sure to leave us a rating and also please leave us a review. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at RapChat Podcast, where we post new clips of the show every single week. I'm your host, Luke Dick.
I'm Elias Eldridge.
And I'm Sam Kenny.
Peace out.
Peace.